Hello and welcome to Ask Aviator episode number 15 with special guest John freaking Cena. I mean, what? It's not John Cena. It's John Hancock, right?
Cena works.
I think John Cena might be better.
Yeah, so I am really happy to be here. I've been dying to be a guest on your show.
It's been such a long time.
I'm a huge fan. I hope I do well.
I'm praying for the same.
All right. I would like another beer if anybody can get me one. Just putting that out there.
So we try to make sure that we have our stream sponsors always highlighted. Tonight's stream sponsor is Southern Tier 2X IPA.
Yeah. Oh.
Seemed like a good choice at the time. I got this in Carabel, Florida. This is a very special beverage. It required a 7-hour round-trip flight in my tiny airplane, sweating and dying. Why don't you update the
people on that? Why were you on your plane so long?
So I'm a VFR pilot, which means that I can fly visual flight rules only, which means I had to avoid all the thunderstorms in Florida in the middle of the summer, which should have been an hour and 20-minute flight each way, suddenly turned into almost 7 hours round trip with my brother.
Any idea how many miles?
A bajillion.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the exact accurate number.
Was it a bajillion? Wow.
Yeah, a bajillion's a lot. So, guys, thank you all for being here on episode number 15. We have a lot to cover. We have lots of questions to answer. We've got a few great emails from folks so far. I don't think this is going to be as long of a post, or not post, but as long as of a live stream as we've had in the past.
Wow.
Unless the questions start going crazy. But to say hello, it's great to see so many of you here. Karma PPG, that's Will. We're looking forward to having Will here, joining us August 1st at the beginning of his work with us. It's going to be exciting to have him here helping with customer service.
Is it official?
I think it's official. I got a copy of his contract, so you guys may have remembered Will here a couple weeks ago on the show. Great to have you. Ripman Ryden, hello. Jim CR120, great to talk to you today. Patrick Ryan, David Nichols, Tony Marzano, Steel Mesh, and Ockbots with the Aviators Anonymous. It's just the same thing as Alcoholics Anonymous, except for slightly different.
Much better.
I don't know. It's all the same.
We put them to shame.
Starfighter says, Carabel, awesome, the home of the phone booth. Actually, the funny story here Starfighter is bringing up is that the Carabel Police Department is actually a phone booth.
Whoa.
True story.
Wow.
It's a real thing, which would make you feel better about their police department, except for the fact that when I was 18, I was living on Dog Island, and I had a Mazda Miata, which I'm very proud of my manliness. I know. It's impressive. It's very beautiful. Very beautiful. It's the antithesis of the giant truck. Well, I was parked a block from said police department when someone cut open my top and proceeded to steal 5 praise and worship CDs and a radar detector out of it. That police department was really on point and had no idea what the heck was happening.
Wow.
But Fool's Hill is here in the November 23rd class. Can't wait to have you. Tony Marzano, good to see you. Ben Engelbert, Ian Pilon, Sandor, always a pleasure. Spaz Attack, and of course Lance Schussler. Lance, thank you so much for your long suffering and grace, my friend. I cannot wait to see you flying at home. Starfighter, Matt Y, Kevin Can Fly. Guys, we've got a lot of people here in the chat today. We had so much trouble with YouTube last week and with Facebook this week. It feels like such a mix-up to try to figure out which platform is going to work each week, but that's life. Ockbot says that V3 frame is so pretty.
It's for sale.
This one in particular is actually kind of particularly sexy. It's this custom. It feels to me like one of those old iMacs where it's it's white and red and just.
Now, are we actually going to sell this? Can people really buy this?
Someone could actually buy this if they wanted to.
We're going to let this thing go.
We would sell it.
We're going to let this thing go at retail price. Manufacturer suggested retail price.
He's not even going to charge you extra. It's pretty incredible.
For this thing, we ought to increase that by 100%. That thing's beautiful.
It is going to be good. That said, guys, we have a bunch of questions piling in. Jim CR120 says, nice flying weather here in Maine. Just need some equipment and some training. I've already talked to you today, man. I'm going to see you in November of next year. I'm looking forward to it.
November next year?
I know. He's going to come with his son. He's actually he is a Navy pilot flying a P-3 Orion. His son is currently a Navy flight crew, and his son's moving to the Air Force, gets time off next year. It's going to be a whole big thing. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Right on.
Michael Abbott says, hey guys, progression for a new pilot, say 20 hours in, ready for something new. Michael, if you haven't seen it yet, go to youtube.com/aviator and watch the latest video. That video talks a lot about our new intermediate and advanced courses. It's a great option for someone in your position, someone who has the experience and flight time to look into doing thermaling, trike transition, or PPG-3.
Can't wait for those.
Yeah, well, for us, it feels like the natural progression, something we've tried to do for a really long time that we really haven't had the staff to be able to facilitate. Now we do. We now have a great team that are all on board, and
former students have been beating down our door for those classes
for years,
and we've been saying eventually.
Now we have dates.
It's time. We've got them scheduled.
Yeah, so it's very, very exciting. Saeed asked for a comparison video of different trim levels of the Parajet Maverick. What do you think?
I'm sorry. What does that mean?
Okay, so there's a Parajet Maverick standard.
Oh, like in a car.
There's the Sport.
Right, okay.
And then there's
the
Pro.
When I think trim, because trim.
No. So there are 3 different trim levels. Right. We're not going to have a video about it right now, honestly, Saeed, just simply because we don't sell many standards or pros. We could spend $30,000 and have all the different variants here to make a video, but it doesn't feel like it makes much sense simply because the majority of our clients are buying the Sports. Right. The Sport comes with the gorgeous bag.
Comes with the bag, comes with the carbon cooling
shroud. Right. So
those are both sort of mandatory, right? You need those.
On the Moster itself, you want to have the cooling shroud for sure because it drops the temperature massively. The bag is not it's not a necessity.
It's pretty nice.
But for travel, it's something you really want to have. So to answer your question in brief, standard comes with nothing. It's still a comfortable, beautiful flying machine. Sport comes with a cooling shroud and with the travel bag. And the Pro comes with the Viterazzi Moster Factory. But the Moster Factory is something that's changing. We've heard from Viterazzi. They're working on a new version of it. It's going to be a very different machine. Sweet. So for what's available right now, it's a CNC crankcase versus a cast crankcase, which gives you more rigidity, less vibration, longer term life. But none of us are flying them. I guess that might answer your question. All right. Is the World Aviator Advanced class, is that the same thing as an SIV training course? John.
No.
Why not?
We're not teaching SIV right now. There are some guys out there that are doing it really well. I don't know if we actively recommend any specific people.
There's a lot of them that I recommend. Basically, my encouragement to anybody is to go out to Utah or go to Spain, go to somewhere where they specialize in it. They excel in it. Turkey has some great SIV instructors. We've tried to offer SIV here. We had Chris Santacroce come here and do SIV with us. The challenge has been that, A, we don't have a good towboat. B, finding a specialized instructor who's also reliable and willing to show up on time and make this happen.
Yep.
I can't even address the number of hours that we've invested into trying to get people out here to do this. I think SIV is super important. I spent 10 days in Utah to go for SIV and got 0 SIV experience. It is definitely a big challenge, but that's part of life. If you are excited about SIV, you want to go to the next step, I encourage you guys to check out my old business partner, Travis Burns. His company, One Up Adventures with Kyle Mooney. They are doing some really cool acro training, that kind of thing. They aren't doing SIV particularly, but they are doing some really cool stuff. For those of you guys who are watching the stream live, you just saw a freaking Greyhound run right through an HDMI cable. What happened, John?
She went full speed. She went Mach 3 for a second.
Mach 3.
That was
like
crazy.
0.3 seconds.
We're back.
But we're back. We can see the screen now. We can see questions.
Everybody can still see us, right? My hair looks good?
I think that your hair never looks good. I was waiting to see how long the silence would last, and I broke it. John has, by the way, his hair is so soft.
Look at Starfighter. John was a hair model in a previous career.
It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me.
No.
No, but John, when was the last time shampoo touched your hair?
So I've been off shampoo for right around a year. Or just over a year.
Only a year?
Yeah, over a year.
I thought this was like 8 years.
No, products is 14 years. No products.
14 years.
Yeah, and that just means gel, pomade. I've only gotten rid of the shampoo in the last about 13 months.
See, I don't put products in my hair, but not because I'm like I want my hair to be nice. It's mainly because I'm lazy and I wear a helmet half the time. and
Half
summarily,
the time.
yeah. Well, I have to lick windows occasionally. Don't mock me. But yeah, so your hair does stick up really well for a dude with no product.
Cut out the shampoo. Changed my life.
Stop
using shampoo. Just kidding. I'm not an advocate for the. Ian wants to know a really important question. Are you guys
It's a
going
good one.
to EAA Oshkosh?
We are going to Oshkosh.
What? We
Paradigm
are?
will be there for their 4th year.
They will.
However, it's not the full show. So this year, the night show schedule filled up. And Dennis Dunbar, who is the king of the air show there, he said, listen, guys, we want you to perform. We want you to perform only on the ultralight strip. Quite frankly, I'm super disappointed.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer.
Well, it's my favorite air show of all time. It's the show I wanted to go to my entire life. We performed for the last 3 years, and to really great reception. So we're disappointed, but we will be there flying. It'll be myself and the Martin brothers doing some really fun theatrics on the ultralight field, and we'll have a booth in the ultralight section this year.
This is going to be the biggest turnout an ultralight field show has ever had.
Well, I think if we just show up and we really put forth the idea that, like, we want people to be over the top. I want entire sections of the audience to rip their shirts off and have Paradigm painted on themselves, right? Like, I want this to be like way over the top,
man.
right?
Please get together 6 of your friends if you're watching. Get together 6 of your friends. How many is it? 7 letters?
7. It's 7.
So you and 6
think it's
friends
7.
write Paradigm
No,
across
it's
your chest.
8. It's 8.
Paradigm.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
So maybe get 7 of your friends and yourself, and just a big Paradigm across your chest.
Please.
That'd be glorious.
Please. You will be on YouTube. It will go viral, and we will give you $5.
No $5. We don't have $5 to spend. We're
I'll
not even
cover
on the.
I'll cover it.
John's gonna
I
cover
will
it.
go into my own pocket and give each of the 8 of you $5.
I love it. CT Shoot Flyer says, can I bring my father to Aviator to have him take it up on tandem while I fly there as well? I want him to experience flight and see it from the air myself. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Please do.
If you want to do that, reach out to my father. What is his website?
PureFlightAviation.com.
PureFlightAviation.com.
3
My
words.
dad does tandems here. We refer him. He does a really good job. And he does this a lot, actually. He took one of our students' 8-year-old sons up for a tandem.
That's cool.
And his dad hasn't flown yet, so his son beat him to it this week, which is pretty freaking sweet.
That's awesome. PureFlightAviation.com. She'll put it in the chat.
That's so cool. Jim says he was air crew, not pilot. Sorry, Jim, I messed up. Somebody asked, I don't go back down. Where to go? AC-130, back up. All right, Kevin can fly. Do you sell the AC-130? I saw you posted it. Yes, Jacqueline/Tucker's Air Conception 130 is behind us in that pile of motors that we're working on over there. It is available. Shane, good to see you. Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane. Thank you so much for the T-shirts, my friend. I'm sorry I didn't get to see you on Sunday. I got to spend the time with my family, and I felt really bad that you didn't get my email. But thank you so much for stopping by. I look forward to flying with you soon. Let's see here. Full Seal says, is that a 2X IPA? Yes, sir, it is, and it is a great beer. Absolutely fantastic.
Nina, are we on camera? Jonathan Kaiser lost video.
Jonathan Kaiser lost video.
Are we back?
Can you see us?
Are we good?
You're on the YouTube.
Okay. We're on the YouTube.
On the YouTubes. All right. Kevin Kaflaye asks, what is up with the Tucker training spot? Jim, I'm sorry, not Jim. John, I'm going to let you take this. I read the name Jim at the same time I was coming up with your name.
What is up with the Tucker training spot? Was that the question?
Yes.
Okay, so what's up with it is that Tucker's doing a drawing on July 13th or a couple days after that. And the winner of that will come down to Aviator for our November 23rd class.
Yep.
We're really excited about that. Tucker will be here, and that class is totally booked. So this person will be very fortunate. But I will say it's going to be a lot like winning the lottery. I've seen how many entries there are, and if you're counting on that, I'd go ahead and book a class in spring.
So there's a lot of things that go into this. One of the things we've tried to do is we want to support Tucker any way we can. Mm-hmm. So we do our best to support him fiscally, support him personally, try to encourage his family life, his relationship. Tucker is like my little brother in a lot of ways.
He does so much for the sport too.
Yeah, like I've known Tucker since before he learned to fly.
Yep.
I taught him to fly 6 years ago. He has a great following on YouTube, and we are desperately in a position where we want to make sure that he feels like it's a win, because he puts so much time, so much effort into like building this sport.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, for years, he's put all his effort in and got not much out of it.
Right.
So we've been trying to support him by giving him assets, whether it be a helmet or a training slot, to be able to give away
Yep.
the things that he believes in.
Yep.
And make it a win for his entire audience. So he's giving away a training class that costs us $3,640. But we believe in him.
Yep.
So our hope is that anybody who wants to go buy a shirt and support Tucker gets an opportunity to come train with us. And that's pretty freaking cool.
Yep.
So we're excited. We think it's going to be a lot of fun. I had to move my wife out of that class.
Yeah.
To the November 2nd class,
right.
which she's thrilled about because she gets to train even sooner.
Yeah.
You guys may have seen her on last week's show, so I'm excited for her. It's going to be good. Jim Furman, good to see you. Jay Williams, good to see you as well. Kevin asks, will you please explain the communication process for PPG wanting to land or take off from a Class Echo airport? Thanks. Class Echo airport, you can fly out of, unless there's Class E surface area. The challenge of how to build a communication process is really just go and talk to them and build a relationship. You have rights at a public use airport. You have rights to use it as long as you're gracious. There is a video we're working on that will be discussing the whole concept of what you need to do to utilize a public airport. Yep. And how to make sure that you're being gracious, how to make sure that you're asking for your rights without being cruel or rude.
Yeah, I mean, they have a phone number. You have a phone.
Yes.
That's how it starts.
Absolutely.
It's like asking a girl out, right?
Craig Couch asks, how is the Revo 3? Is it comparable to a Roadster? I've flown the Revo 3 quite a bit. It's not in the same category as a Roadster as far as flying goes, in my opinion. It's a great wing. It is a certified glider. I know that Paramedia is no longer really building gliders, but it's a fantastic, it's very, very heavy. I guess it's very difficult to inflate, and it has a lot of pressure to turn, but it's still a B certified glider, and it is still a nice wing. It's just not something that I would say is comparable.
Craig, did you get signed up for training?
I don't know.
Go sign up.
Steel Mesh asks, has Dell ever been on the show? No, he has not, sir.
Who?
I've never met the guy.
Who is it?
Dell.
Dell.
I know you don't know who he is.
Okay.
But he apparently is in the paramotor market, and I've never met him. So there we go.
Dale.
Tony asks, how come Tucker flies a Scout, not a Maverick? He actually flies both. He has an Atom 80 powered Maverick, and he flies that seemingly like half the time right now.
Yeah, so it sort of just depends on what kind of flight he wants to have. If he's looking for something chill, something easy, it's generally been the Atom 80 Maverick. And also for long distance flights.
Because it burns no fuel.
It makes fuel.
As Chris Garrison says, Chris is our school leader, and he says that his Atom actually makes fuel, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Mrs. Aviator says, I was going to say that's the class I got bumped from. I'm sorry, baby. At least you get to do it sooner. I'm excited. I cannot wait to fly with my wife. So this is kind of cool background. I started flying 7 years ago, flying paramotors. Been flying airplanes my whole life, and she was interested in the idea, my wife, and then I started doing tandems, and the whole, until 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, she was either pregnant or nursing, right? And so it was like, well, we don't want to have us both die in a wreck, right? It's not that paramotoring's dangerous. It is. Everything's dangerous. You get out of bed, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
But it's just like, let's not both do the same dangerous thing at the same time.
Okay.
And so she never went on a tandem until Oshkosh last year.
What?
So we got to go on a tandem together. It was incredible. We got to go. We were flying with the B-17. The hang points were super off. So she's flying, and she's literally 3 feet above me. I had to wrap my legs around her and pull her down to get the angle right.
Sounds safe.
It was we were flying with my buddy's rig, and he said it was good, and it wasn't good because she didn't weigh 230 pounds like his last passenger did. But we learned things, and we had a great time. And we giggled and we kissed in flight, and it was great. And then we went for another tandem here. And it's been a very good time. Very good time. Yeah. I'm excited for her because she is going to go through the whole course, which is something we talked about from day one. It's like if she ever went through and learned to fly, we didn't want her to come piecemeal it. I really wanted her to experience. Right. I wanted her to experience all this stuff that we've worked so hard to build because my wife has given up so much of my time, of my focus, of time with the kids, where she's had to be the solo parent to build Aviator, and I wanted her to get to see why.
You need her to see the product.
Yeah.
And also, you probably really care about her safety.
It's kind of a giant deal to me. So I want her to go through the whole process so that I was thinking about it today. I was like, realistically, she's going to fly with me.
Yep.
or she's going to fly here. She doesn't have to know airspace and weather because she's going to fly with like expert pilots, right? Like advanced pilots at the very minimum.
Right.
But I want her to have the whole experience because I want her to.
Yeah. Since she's
Yeah.
your wife, is she going straight to the free ride so she can keep up with you in flight?
Heck no. She's flying the Mojo forever. No. I'm
Me
just
too.
kidding, baby. You can do what you want. Saeed says, Paramotor Planet recommends the V3 over a Maverick for an absolute noob after training, of course. Your thoughts? So this is the V3. The V3, in my opinion, is a work of art. It is comparable to a Nirvana. It's comparable to a lot of other paramotors that have a lot of intricate detail work. The V3, or the Volution 3, is a paramotor frame that was literally built by one guy. For the last 10 years, he's been building Volutions. Actually, more than 10 years. It's been like 16 years he's
What
been
a
building
champ.
Volutions. The guy's an expert. They start with a round tube, and it becomes this airfoil-shaped tube. He cuts it, slices it, welds it, grinds it. It's incredible. In my opinion, I completely disagree. I completely disagree with Paramotor Planet, and the reason I disagree is because as a beginner, you want to start with a strong, light unit.
Right.
If you're a beast, if you're a mountain, if you're somebody who's got a lot of muscles and you don't mind weight, the Volution is 100% there on sex appeal, 100% there on strength and rigidity. I flew one of these for the first time about 5 years ago in Utah, and the chassis is fantastic. I took off, flew for 20 minutes, turned the engine off, and then flew for 2 hours ridge soaring at the south side of the point of the mountain. It's fantastic. But I will always, anyone on our staff will recommend a Maverick because you're going to save, 15 pounds.
You don't go Lotus Elise on your first car. You don't go straight to the artwork.
Well, let's rephrase that. It's not so much Lotus Elise. This is Ferrari 430.
You don't go straight to the 430, the Scaglietti.
Right. This is the Lamborghini Huracan.
Right.
Right.
Let's not get
Versus
crazy.
a Lotus Elise is light. It's strong. It's
I like
directable. Right. So the Maverick's the Elise.
Yep.
This is a Huracan.
But we are selling this, right?
It is for sale.
This is for sale?
John's trying to sell something
Wow.
tonight.
Wow.
Chris Frederick asks, "What's the weight limit for an Atom 80? I'm 240."
Don't do it. Don't do it. We actually, I just made the, I just took their hang points chart off of their user manual and turned it into freedom units, pounds. And as high as
Freedom. We call those Apollo units. The only country that's been to the moon.
I like that too. Freedom units, Apollo units. So in pounds, like if you look at the manual for the Atom 80, the Maverick, the highest it goes is 200, and that's sort of pushing it. We've seen experienced pilots that are like 310 pounds fly it, like you. So if you're an expert and you're Eric Farewell, you can be 300 pounds.
I am 300 pounds. It's very clear. If you look at my frame, I'm 6'19" and 300 pounds.
But no, we're not even sending students up on it that are over like 180, right? For learning.
Our heaviest student that has flown it is 224. Or 225. The heaviest pilot I've seen fly it's 235. At 235, the climb rate's very, very slow. It is comparable in power to a Nitro 200. It's about 15 pounds less thrust on a thrust table to a Nitro 200.
So you need to really trust your abilities on takeoff.
We just at least have to have room, you know. So my recommendation would be an Atom 80 is a fantastic first motor for anyone in the 180 to 195 range. Yeah. Or 195 and below. Let's say that.
195.
I was speaking to a guy. His name's Eric, and today he's in North Carolina. Really nice guy. If you guys are looking for framing work in North Carolina, it's what is it? North Carolina Timber Works. I don't remember the exact company.
Framing?
He builds buildings. He's a really nice guy. And
okay.
He's trained with like 2 different people, and he's come here and train. And he's super
this is our
excited.
Typical student.
Yeah, so he's 106. We train we do a lot of retraining.
Yeah.
We do. So he has 46 flights. He had a Nitro 200 before. He's buying a Maverick with an Atom 80. Because at 160 pounds, he doesn't need more power than that. Yeah. He's absolutely going to be in great shape. Travis Martin asks, how much experience do you have flying in the mountains? Not nearly enough, Travis. I have flown a lot in the mountains, but it's always a learning experience. Being a flatlander, I feel like I go into the mountains as a beginner. I have my P3. I could be certified as a P4 now. I need to take the written test for free flight. I have a few hundred hours flying the mountains, maybe between Czech Republic, anywhere else. I've flown all over the world, and I've flown mountains in Costa Rica, mountains in Utah, mountains in Montana, but there's still so much to learn. In my opinion, I'm a good pilot's always learning. Jason Shepard says that, and I completely agree with him. He has a good point.
Yep.
All right, Jim Sierra 120 says, why might someone choose a Mojo over the Kona or vice versa in terms of speed, stall speed, flight endurance, maneuverability, etc.? What is forfeited or gained in choosing a Roadster over these? That's a big question. Do you want to answer it?
I don't know much about the Kona, but I know that people are using it for free flight, which to me tells me that it's not a paramotor beginner wing.
So the Kona is a Buzz Z5 with motor risers. The Buzz C6 was just released, which is another free flight wing. I hope they come out with the Kona 2 because I've heard that the progression of the Buzz is exceptional. I flew the Buzz Z4, I've flown the Buzz Z3, I've flown the Buzz Z5, I've flown the Kona. I've not flown the Buzz Z6 yet.
So for those that don't know, not me, but others who may not know, what are motor risers? What is
so motor
changing
risers
there?
Shortens the risers by about 30%. So they're sorry, pause. August, I love you. I hope that Bach Tower Camp was amazing today, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow morning. Thank you for saying I love you. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. So it's shorter risers, and they also have trimmers. So you have speed control that's not just based on the speed bar.
Okay.
So the reason why you don't want to have longer risers, free flight risers on a motor is because generally free flying, your connection point is close to your hips.
Right.
So you
can't do that with the motor. Right?
Correct, because your connection point is like nipple height, and it's a big difference. It's a big difference.
Right.
That is definitely something to keep in mind. The biggest things you're giving up versus a Roadster, if you go to a Mojo, is you're giving up overall speed, and you're giving up the ease of turning, right? So I can still wingtip drag on a Mojo.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
I can still build energy. I can still wing over it. I can still do all these things. But going to a B-wing, you're going to have more maneuverability and you're going to have more speed. What you gain with the Mojo, and the reason why I say everyone needs a Mojo, is it forces you to control your energy better.
Okay.
It forces you to control the inflation better. It forces you to do a lot of things that happen automatically on a reflex glider. But the best part about the Mojo is that it keeps you safe the whole time. You have an exact expectation of how much recovery time you have. If you fly behind a 747 and you hit this massive... Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Well, I fly behind you, and I know what it feels like. No, but... if you fly behind a 747 and you have a full collapse, you know exactly what the recovery time will be because it's tested. It's an ENA glider. And the other thing I love the most about it is you can make big mistakes. Whether you're kiting or flying, let's say you pull way too much brake, it's going to take a really long time for it to stall because it's just has this built-in extra safety.
Okay, so to sort of cover the second half of his question, who would choose a Kona over a Roadster?
So the person choosing a Kona over a Roadster is someone who lives in an ideal location for free flying as well as motoring.
Doing some of both. I know Ross Gasaway uses his for the same.
Right. So Ross does. I've done it. I've taken Konas down to Costa Rica. Yep. If I lived in Costa Rica and I knew that half of my flying was going to be motoring, half my flying was going to be free flying, I'm going to choose the Kona over the Roadster because I don't need the extra speed. I want the extra lift and stability.
That's cool that they did that. That's
it really
cool.
is. It's a really nice balance point.
Yep.
Michael Abbott says, guys, why is the wing progression such a thing? How does it feel to progress into advanced wings? That's a big one.
This is a long one.
All right, so
just go watch our video that's coming out soon.
Yeah, so we have a video coming out soon. But the basic answer is this: it's really a question of what kind of a pilot you want to be. Do you want to be the best pilot you can be? A pilot that is as safe as you possibly are, a pilot that is gone through the proper progression, a pilot that's really developed their skills on every level, or do you want to be decent at a higher level? There's a majority of pilots in the U.S. right now who are jumping from a decent wing, a decent beginner wing or a beginner intermediate wing, then they're jumping straight into an advanced wing or to an expert level wing.
So it's like, which is more important to you, being a badass, skilled pilot, or keeping up with your friends?
What you got? We got a battery issue.
Switch to the other camera.
Switching to another camera. We're jumping in.
Switch to the other camera and change the battery. Don't put that slide on.
We're trying to figure it out.
Camera.
Nina is in charge of the camera box tonight, and she's rocking it. Even though John doesn't think it's happening, she's rocking it. We're on the Sony A6000 right now, and it's up. We're good. We're golden. And we have a new Sony A6300 coming, so we can have 4K goodness for all. All right, so you could go out and be Billy Badass on a free ride after 50 hours, but the reality is the wing is trying to kill you the whole time. We see this a lot with guys buying a Dudek Snake, buying Gen Carve, buying whatever. We have a past student who switched from his Roadster 2, he had a Spider. He switched from his Spider to a Nucleon XX, which is an uncertified glider, and that, he's like, okay, I'm going to start doing wing overs. And we're like, okay, cool, you can do wing overs. But he came out and he's killing 30% of the wing, every wing over. It's like, whap, big collapse. And he landed, and I'm like, dude, first off, you're doing wing overs and barrel rolls way too low.
Yikes.
Secondarily, you're doing it wrong. You're having giant collapses. Why are you doing this? And he said, oh, that's just what happens when I do wing overs.
No.
And I said, okay. You need to go back to a Mojo.
Yikes.
Or a Kona or a Roadster and learn how to do a wing over there, because that proper input of outside pressure is so imperative, because you can get away with a lot on a reflex glider because it has more speed, it has more pressure, but it's just not as safe. It's fighting you. Like I haven't flown my freeride in almost a month.
Right.
I've flown the Mojo and the Spider a whole bunch because I'm flying in more turbulent conditions. If you guys have seen some of our videos that we've released lately, it's primarily been flying in really crappy conditions, aside from 2 of them.
Yeah, very windy, very thermally, very weird.
So, all that to say, the proper progression, in my opinion, is if you were to be the ultimate pilot, the pilot that's going to be the best, the safest, the guy who's going to be the envy of pilots in 3 years. Not tomorrow, in 3 years.
Right.
I would love to see a pilot fly 100 hours on an A-wing, like a Mojo.
Right.
I would love to see them add a B-wing to their arsenal at 100 hours. Most of them will do it in 30.
Yeah.
They'll add a B-wing because they want the speed. They want the cross-country speed.
It almost sounds like you're describing something that is necessary for their health, something that's necessary to keep you safe.
Well, the Mojo will always stay in their repertoire. Like, a Mojo will always be a tool in your arsenal. It's something you'll keep forever, because it's something that's going to make you a better pilot and allow you to fly in more conditions.
Right. I see you fly the Mojo pretty much every time you fly.
Yeah,
or the Spider 3.
But when I get to fly the free ride, I feel like a freaking king, and it feels amazing.
I only see you do that in air shows. Are you doing it here?
I do here, but you just don't come to work early enough.
No, I don't. I'm a bit of a snoozer.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
So I would love to see 100 hours of A-wing. I'd love to see 250 hours of B-wing. For me personally, I started on an A-wing. I flew 2 flights on it. I went to a B-wing. I flew that B-wing, which was actually not a certified B-wing. It was a copy of a certified B-wing, for about 220 hours. Then I moved to a C-wing, which was a larger size C-wing. I was middle of the weight range. I wasn't overloaded on it. I was actually low on the weight range from it, and I flew that for around 300 hours. And then I moved to a D-wing, and then I moved to uncertified wings after a couple hundred hours in the D-wing. My experience was that I moved that uncertified wing from my D-glider, and I was not ready for it. I almost hurt myself multiple times, and then I finally did hurt myself because the wing was really small, really aggressive, and I felt like I did the right progression. I progressed slowly purposely because I really wanted to keep myself in check. But I think that most pilots today are put in this pressure system where they're like, I want to go faster, I want to do more.
I want to keep up with my buddies on the cross country.
Yeah, I want to do barrel rolls. And then the reality is that if you progress slower, you're going to be a better pilot at the end of the day. I don't consider myself to be an expert pilot, but I do consider myself to be an advanced pilot. I consider myself to be a pretty talented, pretty experienced pilot.
You might be an expert. I'm going to say it.
Well, but even then, I still revert back to safer gliders when the conditions are against me.
Right.
So we had a question here. I'm looking for it. Florida Spiders asks, can someone with a paramotor fly to the Lake Wales Airport? What requirements or restrictions? You absolutely can fly.
No.
You absolutely can.
Yeah, you can.
No, anybody can fly to Lake Wales Airport. It's a public use airport. If you come when we're out here, we will welcome you. Our encouragement to you is to read the board that's behind our red shop that kind of explains the neighbors that like us to fly over, the neighbors that don't like us to fly over, and follow our number one rule, which is don't be a dirtbag.
Don't be a douche.
Pretty much. So you're totally welcome to do so.
Yeah.
Jim Sierra 120 asks, are the weights you quote all up weight or just pilot weight? I don't remember which weights you're talking about, Jim.
Are the weights you quote?
Oh, Adam weight. Oh, no,
Adam.
that's just pilot weight. Just pilot weight, Jim. Yeah, sorry.
It's
Just pilot
how
weight.
fat are you? That's the question. I'm too fat for an Adam 80. Although I could probably fly with it.
Oh, you 100% can fly.
Yeah.
We see people flying tandems on
I
them.
just have to run real fast. And
You have to run
far.
real fast and have
Yeah.
a bigger glider.
Right.
Yeah. Matt Y asked earlier, he asked if he wins the training from Tucker, can he donate it to Resurgence?
Yes.
Because he's already a pilot. Abso-freaking-lutely. And let's talk a little bit more about that, too, if you don't mind, John.
Yeah, please. In fact, you should probably do that anyway.
So we'd love for you to donate to Resurgence.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, for those of you who are past students, for those of you who are past clients, I want to let you guys know that we are working on the Aviator Foundation. It's coming together. We're working with some attorneys right now to be able to try to, our end goal is to do more to support aviation in general, not just butt fan flying, but inspiring people to be able to experience flight for the first time, whether they're pilots in command, they're getting their first airplane ride, their first paramotor flight. We want to inspire people to look to the sky. And so it's coming together. I'm really excited. So
It's
that's
not
coming.
the Aviator Paramotor Foundation.
This is the Aviator Foundation, yeah. So it's something that we're going to do, and we're going to use this live stream to support it. So our goal right now, we're putting together our board of directors. We're trying to bring great people who are really, really passionate about not just Aviator, but about aviation in general. And so we have some really great people I'm really excited about.
It's going to be sweet.
It's going to be, hopefully it'll be a game changer. It'll be an opportunity for us to give back and to build even better and better people. Because I truly believe in my heart of hearts that when you fly, it makes you a better person. And I
100%.
think this gives us an opportunity to allow people to experience that and share it. Speaking of which, I want to give a huge shout out to Jeff. Jeff is an osteopath doctor, and he had his first flight this morning here at Aviator.
Woo!
He also worked in my back, which was really kind of him.
He got the only flight this morning, right?
He was the first one of the class. So I want to give a huge shout out to our June class, our second June class of the month, who are all in the north or the south complex right now watching the live stream. Guys, thank you so much for watching.
Are they watching? I thought they were towing.
I believe they're watching. I don't know. Is it towable?
Are you guys watching?
If you're not watching, I apologize,
Let us
but Jeff, congratulations, and thank you for the help. Let's see. I have a few more questions. Matt Y asks, as far as the recovery of the Mojo versus the Roadster 3, what are the recovery rate, and doesn't the Roadster recover well from full collapse? Actually, Matt, all that information is available through the EN certification reports. The EN reports are available on Ozone's website or through a variety of websites that we'll share. We're all going to have them up in our store as well, so you'll be able to read the full recovery report. The whole point of having a certified glider is a glider that very clearly delineates, if you have a 50% collapse, how far does it wait to turn, blah, blah, blah.
I've looked at them, at the reports, and they're really detailed. There's a lot of stuff in there. They cover a lot of ground when they're testing these things out.
Absolutely.
A lot of good info in there. So if you're already flying a wing and you haven't seen the report, you might as well look it up. Maybe try it out.
Absolutely. Rittman Writing asks, can someone fly from the compound in Polton Bay to Lake Wales Airport? Yes, it's been done. Both directions. Come and visit.
Why not?
Sean Barnett asks, which do you think is more advanced, the Viper 4 or the Freeride? First off, we have a Viper 416 that's been flown twice for sale. If you are interested, I saw you selling your 18. It's a tough question. The Viper 4... Here's the thing. It's a tough question to answer because there's about 25 pilots in the U.S. who I would trust with either, if they're heavily loaded. Right?
25?
I fly a Viper 416 or a Freeride 16. I've flown the 15s of both. At that weight, I'm 17 pounds per square meter. It's a lot. I'm really, really fast. The Viper 4 has more lift. It has a little more oscillation. It dives less, builds more energy, but doesn't have as much forward speed. Again, this is a question that's up here in the ether. I would be happy to talk about it for like 4 hours. It's one of those questions where, like, the way I do barrel rolls, I'm constantly shifting. When do I weight shift? And it's literally the difference of a quarter of a second or a half of a second. But when you're at that level where you're flying expert level gliders and you're pushing yourself, you could have a 3-hour conversation about the difference between the fact that the Viper 4 doesn't have quite as much trim, whereas it has the same trim range, but it's not as trimmed out on the outside.
Yes.
And it has.
So when will we be scheduling our barrel rolls class?
It's not going to happen right now.
Okay.
We had a guy contact us.
Give us a few more weeks.
No, I'd love to do an acro class. quite frankly, even with as much experience as I have, I don't feel confident in teaching hard acro. I'd rather see people go through SIV and progress and grow smoothly and slowly.
Same here. I don't feel confident teaching acro either. Personally, I'm not there yet.
He's working on it, guys.
I'm not ready to teach it.
Oh my goodness. Roberto asks, what wing do you think on using on thermal classes? Roberto, we're going to use the Spark and the Mojo, the Spark 2 and the Mojo, for sure. We always begin on the safest possible gliders. Everyone will have to have a reserve. Reserves are crucial, and definitely is something we want to put in a position where you guys are as safe as humanly possible. So it will be Spark and Mojo, and then depending on what we have in stock, it may be Konas and such as a backup. Believe it or not, if people have the experience, like if someone comes in with 200 or 300 hours of experience, I will probably move them from a Mojo to a Sirocco 2. The Sirocco 2 is a phenomenal thermaling glider, trimmed all the way in. Yep. It's one of the best cross-country wings. I tell everyone, if you have the experience level and you're capable of flying in those midday conditions, you're going to be so blown away by that Sirocco.
Yep.
Andrew Beauregard says, Eric, you missed the discussion in the pre-show. What is your opinion about hours versus flights?
Oh, can I?
I didn't hear that. Go ahead.
So you missed the discussion, so maybe I shouldn't cue you in. But Parker made a really good point. I'm actually interested in your opinion when somebody's discussing how experienced of a pilot they are. Is it hours or is it flights? Let's just say for now we're talking about a beginner pilot.
Yes.
At the beginning.
The answer is yes.
Okay, so it's Parker. So I said, okay, yeah, maybe hours makes more sense. Having I probably have 2 hours, 1 or 2 hours total. But Parker made a really good point. He's like, a 2-hour pilot, somebody who does one flight for 2 hours is not going to be nearly as experienced as a pilot who did 10 launches.
Well, we had a student last class who did 47 flights, I think, in one day. Mm-hmm. Right? There's a tipping point. As with everything, there's a action and reaction.
Right. So 47 flights. That's but in all total, it's an hour.
Yeah, his flights were 4 hours of flight time.
Right.
And 47 flights.
Right.
In my opinion, the tipping point comes at about 150 flights. You have enough experience launching and landing to be confident if your engine quits, you're going to put it down on the spot wherever you want to go. It may be maybe 100 flights or 50 flights for someone.
Yeah.
Everyone's different.
Okay.
Right? So if you're you have 13 flights,
yep,
but you are extraordinary. I hate saying this because it builds his ego. He's extraordinary with his launches.
Can you put that up on the screen? Extraordinary, right here.
He really has. He has a supernatural ability, especially for a bigger guy. We had nothing but expectations of you struggling because bigger folks struggle sometimes.
Yep.
It's more of you're carrying more weight.
You have to
absolutely
find balance. See why that would be.
Right, but you were extraordinary.
Yes,
and
I was.
It annoys me because I was terrible. And that said,
I had very different training than you did.
You did have very different
Aviator
training.
So you didn't.
So that said, it really it's a balance point.
Yeah.
If for me, I at about 16 flights in, I started doing 2 and 3 hour long cross countries. And I learned a lot, but my ground skills, the skills that are the most difficult to master, weren't good until I had over 100 flights.
Really?
Right? So getting that balance point, understand that there is absolutely a give and take. More hours is good because it makes you a better pilot in the air. But the really challenging part of our sport is getting off the ground, right?
Right.
So it really is a give and take
right.
as far as what your personal experience is, and it will be different for everyone.
Right. So if you have 4 flights and they were an hour each, you're a 4-hour pilot. I'm not a 4-hour pilot, and I'm one.
But you're going to kick their butt launching and landing.
I'm one of the best pilots in the world, wouldn't you say?
Also the most humble. No, but seriously, that's why with our students, last class we had 222 flights for 8 pilots.
Yep.
And
God, what a great number, 222.
222.
That's amazing.
But our mission is to be able to deliver as many launches and landings as possible, because the rest it's like fill in the blanks.
Right.
If you build those bookends, the beginning and end,
yep,
the rest will happen naturally.
Yep.
All right. Hey Dex says, learning wingovers in a Roadster 3, what trim should I be on full slow? It really depends on your experience level, your altitude, what size reserve you have, and who your instructor is, because you shouldn't be learning wingovers on your own. The biggest challenge I see with pilots who are trying to push themselves is that they push themselves too quickly, they go too big, they try to be cool, and they generally they won't get hurt, but they will have a collapse. One of our instructors here, AJ, he's been going through this lately. He's an incredible pilot, one of those naturally gifted pilots we've ever seen, and he's having to take huge steps back in order to keep himself safe.
Right.
Because
he is cool.
He's exceptional. Personally, when I do wingovers on the Roadster 3/Spider 3, I'm at the red line, where it's the neutral trims. Just simply because if you trim all the way out, you dive too much. If you trim all the way in, it's too hard to build energy. So that's my answer. But again, find a mentor. Mentors are life. That's the only reason this business has grown. It's the only reason I've grown as a pilot. I found mentors who built me up. Shane Denherter, Jeff Toll, Jeff Gowen, tons of people who have helped. They've watched what I've done, and they've encouraged me on things I could do better.
So I shouldn't just be watching Woody's videos.
No.
Oh.
No, you find someone who
I didn't know there were people
who can
teaching
watch
this.
what you're doing, even if it's not a proper instructor. Find someone who's an exceptional pilot who can help you learn when to step back. Like AJ posted a video a few days ago, and he's like almost wingtip dragging. I'm like, AJ, you're an exceptional pilot, but the ground is hard, and I hate hospital visits. Right, like he's an exceptional pilot, but he doesn't know what he doesn't know, and it's a learning experience to get there. You have to. There's the Dunning-Kruger curve, and you have to understand that the reality is that most pilots get injured between, I think it's 120 and 200 hours for fixed wing. When they're a private pilot with 120 to 200 hours of flight time, that's where the majority of pilots get killed. Period. Because their confidence is here, but their experience is here, and you have to wait till your experience overcomes your confidence.
And where are you on that hours?
I have 1,570 hours of fixed wing
You're past
time.
that. Okay.
Kind of,
This
but
is
hang
why
on.
I don't
but,
go in planes.
No, kind of. I'm more than happy to be honest with myself. So I have like 1,570 hours of fixed wing time, and I have a ton of paramotor time. I never logged it, but I would estimate well over 1,000 hours, maybe two. I don't know. A lot of flight time. I've gotten back to flying fixed wing over the last couple of years, and my God,
You suck at it.
I don't suck at it, but my decision-making process isn't as good as it used to be. And I found myself a few days ago, I was flying back from North Florida, and I found myself pushing. My brother wanted to get home. He needed to get home for his family, and I am dodging thunderstorms. And I submitted a NASA report about this. I'm dodging thunderstorms. I've got ForeFlight up, and I've got it on the iPad and on the phone, and I'm trying to stay around thunderstorms, and I'm trying to make sure I stay clear of airspace. And I didn't realize, and this is my own admission, I did not realize that the the radar image of the storms completely covers the airspace. And I got so close to having a airspace incursion that I felt the need to write a NASA report as a pilot and say, hey, I made a mistake. Here's where I was. Here's what time it was. I don't think I entered the Class Bravo airspace, but here's why I think I might have. Here's what I learned from it. Because as a fixed-wing pilot, as a beginner pilot, like not a beginner, but as a new to a new airplane, new to new instrumentation, new to having, IFR instrumentation and stuff that I'm not accustomed to, I'm pushing myself to be the best pilot I can be and to stay safe. And so I was like, hey, I know based upon my trail that I was below the shelf, like I'm below the airspace, but I want to be very clear that like I made a mistake because I was not paying attention.
So you sold on yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
I think that's one of the big things about being a good aviator is being willing to admit when you make mistakes.
Right, and then that stops you from doing them again.
Exactly.
Right. And is this so? You're saying that AJ has had an experience like this, and it made him step back?
No, AJ's been doing really, really well, but he's been pushing too big, and so he's been taking steps back to help him. And the best part about being part of the Aviator family is he's got a bunch of instructors to be like, hey, AJ, you're a baller.
You a baller.
Slow it down. So anyway, all this to say, like as a fixed-wing pilot and a paramotor pilot, constant reevaluation,
Right.
constant work on being humble. Huge deal. Huge deal. Jim says, when it comes to flight duration, are faster wings or fatter wings the way to go? Is the difference significant? Yes, it is. John will tell you the fatter wings are better. Just kidding. Flight endurance. Flight endurance is going to be a big balance between how efficient your glider is, how big your fuel tank is, how much power you have, etc. Again, like I talked to you on the phone earlier, everyone needs a mojo. The reality is that endurance-wise, you're going to be the best suited on a an Enzo, you know, a 2-liner paragliding wing is going to give you the best endurance, but best distance covered, a free ride. The balance is what safety level do you want, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Based on your experience, what is the average speed on a Mojo in normal conditions? What is the max speed on a Mojo in normal conditions? 22 to 28 miles an hour. It's slow. It's slow, but it's safe, and that's very, very good. Let's see here. Trying to read the rest. Someone asked what an SIV is. It means situation. SIV is it's simulation of incident in flight, in volo. It's a French word, and SIV is basically going up to X altitude and then collapsing your wing and walking through.
Very scary.
And working from there. So yeah, it's learning how to reopen your wing when the worst things happen. Robert Patillo asked, when John's motor was opened up in the rebuild video, it looks nearly carbon free. Eric said it was flown for 350 hours. Interested in oil type and ratio for such great results. Do you know the answer to this? That's
not a question.
It is a question. The question is, what oil and ratio did John use? The motor's actually right behind John over here. I don't know the answer, and quite frankly, I feel really bad. We've had a really hectic few weeks, and there's like 10 people who've asked this question, and I haven't asked. So I'm going to ask right now on stream.
Let's ask John. Is it John Anderson?
No.
Whose motor was it?
I can't say his name on stream because he happens to be...
he's deep cover.
He's deep cover. He's deep cover, but... I'm gonna send him a message right now.
He flies a paramotor pilot as part of a spec ops operation.
What oil and fuel ratio did you use on your last motor? ?
He took down Bin Laden on a paramotor, didn't he?
He very well may have. John is yeah. So John's one of those people who you see and you get to know and you're just like, okay, first off, you're way too beautiful to be a man, which everyone else in his squad would agree with, and secondarily, there's too many things I could say.
He's handsome. He's handsome for sure. What else we got?
Excuse me, Mitch Briggs. Read it, John.
We're here for so let me get to Mitch Briggs. Would you carry a large hook knife to cut risers instead of lines? What are you cutting your risers for?
So I mean,
the hook knife. So the hook knife is good for cutting yourself out. Let's say you land in water and you're in flotation and you're just freaking out and you can't unhook. Maybe use a hook knife for that. What else were we using it for?
You could use a hook knife if you were caught up in the lines, if you made a big mistake and you ended up upside down with your feet in the lines or something like that. I don't carry a hook knife when I fly. It's not to say you shouldn't. It really depends on your personal level of safety and what you're doing. I would consider carrying a hook knife, and I have carried a hook knife when I'm doing really intense thermaling where I take off scared and fly scared and land appreciative of my life.
And what's your plan with the hook knife?
If I have to throw my reserve and get rid of the wing.
I thought you're supposed to hold it like this.
Well, no, you're supposed to
bundle it up and then kind of hold it and then just hold on tight.
All right, I have the answer.
He already replied?
Dude, this guy, he's a freaking ninja, I'm telling you. So John, blank name, who is a total baller and way too gorgeous. By the way, straight, married woman, still too gorgeous.
Oh, dude, you're making Lucian jealous right now.
Oh, Lucian, I hope that you feel jealous because you're also too gorgeous. And we need you on this stream, sir. Mm-hmm. Lucian with his fake girlfriend.
Fake accent.
Who, by the way, you notice we're out of whiskey, Lucian. You see this? It's terrible. John was running 800 Motul, 800T at 50-1 with 93 octane pump gas with ethanol.
Pretty standard.
But that's what ran for over 300 hours. So there you go.
Did a good job.
For those of you guys who are looking for it, we have 800 in stock, ready to ship. We have just got like 30 or 40 gallons of Motul 800 in stock. Let's see here. There was a couple other questions that I was wanting to answer here.
Too many questions.
There are so many questions, guys. Ahmed asks, do you rent paramotors? Also, do you have an SIV course? We don't have an SIV course. We do rent paramotors for people coming from out of the country. If we have availability, we are now training more and more, and so it's a little more challenging for us to offer any rentals, frankly. But if we can fit you in, we will.
Keep going.
Let's scroll down. Let's go see some new stuff. Guys, everyone asking questions, thank you so much for being here, for being a part of this. It means the world to us. It's super, super awesome. JP Tulo asks, where can I find a visor for my Baller Aviator helmet? JP, send us an email at info@aviatorppg.com. We can get you visors. We don't have any in stock, but we can get them for you. You can also get them from Involo.
That's John Paul.
John Paul?
He won the Tucker Got giveaway for the helmet.
Dude, JP, John Paul, you're like the luckiest dude ever.
Yeah.
And it was the day he had his first flight, right?
Yeah, the day he had his first flight. How crazy is that? That's a good day.
That's yeah,
That
that's
was a
freaking
good
amazing.
day. Now he's and then you know what he did right after that is he met up with Alex Huff in Columbus and went
That's
over to
so
EFI
awesome.
and stuff. Yeah, he's in it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
All right. We're building more and more questions. We're an hour deep.
Are we gonna get to the good stuff?
We should get to the good stuff. So for us, the good stuff tonight is that we are working really hard to, guys, growing the scale we're growing, the speed we're growing, trying to maintain our level of service. We're having to change so many things. Like today, we started implementing a system for Tony Marzano. It says it almost sounds rigged. Just FYI, dude. We had nothing to do with the giveaway. That's all Tucker. Tucker selected someone at random. We had nothing to do with the process.
It does almost sound rigged, though.
It does sound almost rigged.
First flight that day, he's interested in the EFI, yeah.
But no, we had nothing to do with it. We didn't know who this guy was until he showed up. So, yeah. Anyway, we had today. We instituted a new support ticket system. We instituted a calling hours. We got 55 phone calls yesterday,
and 40 the day before.
So we averaged a phone call, a service call, someone who needed help. Every 8 minutes. Every 8 minutes and 14 seconds yesterday.
Right. And as far as staff, like call center staff, you're looking at it. This is
you and my dad. That's it.
We don't have and Angelina, we don't have a big call center staff. So if you call us and you have to leave a voicemail, that's good.
It's good. And so we're trying to find ways to make sure that you guys feel served too. Like we had one of our customers who's in the chat right now who he knows who he is. I love him.
It's Ross.
It's not Ross.
Oh.
He got a package with a brand new paramotor in it, and it was missing parts.
What parts?
The gearbox.
Oh, you need that.
It's important. And it got
you need that
somehow
to fly.
it failed from the shipper. Like I don't know what happened. So he's like freaking out. And he's calling us, and I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. And then we figured out that it really was missing because we thought maybe he just didn't see the box it was in. And it's like all this stuff. But the reality is that we had 55 phone calls yesterday.
Right, in the same day.
Right. So we're trying to figure out how to find balance points. And so we're trying to find ways to scale because, quite frankly, we've grown beyond our ability with our team because, nobody's working normal hours. We're all trying to keep up, right? So we're putting in place support tickets. So you can go to to aviatorppg.com and click on support. You're going to have a great support ticket system where it will walk you through what you need, how you need it, etc. We're constantly trying to find ways to better serve and be more specific because with Alex, when he gets called about a issue with a carburetor, and he gets called at 9:12 in the morning because someone went out flying and their motor didn't run right. He's in the middle of shipping 30 or 40 packages. He's got Catherine he's kind of trying to manage and make sure everything gets done. He's handling 70 or 80 emails. And so we're like, all right, listen, from 2 to 5 p.m., Alex will be available. Submit your support ticket. It's really hard. Like, guys, if you own a business and you've gone through growth like this, you've gone through something like this, please feel free to share. Like, I'm part of a group called EO, Entrepreneurs Organization, where I'm constantly asking my forum mates, I'm like, listen, how do you deal with growth? How do you deal with adding employees? We went from 4 employees to 11.
Right.
In 4 months.
We're in the process of something in business called volatile expansion.
That's a great name for it.
It's not quite manageable growth. Manageable growth would mean we sell a couple of motors, we train a couple of people.
Well, we're selling way less than we used to sell. Ironically enough,
God.
we're making way less money, but we have way more clients.
Right.
And so we're trying to find the balance point, but we try to use this podcast as an opportunity to share really, really transparent background of what we're doing because, like, the very first one was with Travis when he was leaving. Like, we want people to see behind the scenes because it was really funny. We had a couple who came down from New Jersey this last 3 days, and they trained at Skyfield, and she's like, Eric, you're way nicer online. She said she's gonna be in the chat, and I'm really sad she's not. But I told her I was like, no, I'm just really mean to my friends. But we try to be really transparent. Like I'll gouge John about how much I hate him for being better pilot than I was at his ability.
So good, I don't know.
But as we're scaling, we're trying to find new systems. We're trying to find new things. We've got Will coming to join the team as part of our customer service team.
Goodness.
We got my dad answering the phones now. We've got all these people who are working really hard to develop things and do better things. But please know, guys, like, we know we're not perfect, right? Like, We're not Amazon. We're not. Who's known for their customer service? Not Amazon.
Oh no, customer service.
I don't know.
Oh gosh, nobody. Red
No.
Lobster.
Tesla.
Tesla.
Tesla is good at their customer service. You have a Tesla.
Honestly, they're not that great. We are doing better than they are with customer service. I can tell you with absolute certainty.
Is that why you haven't bought a paramotor yet? Because you don't want me to make you feel bad about your Tesla service?
Yes, that's exactly right.
I kind of want a Tesla. I haven't decided yet. I also am scared of spending a house payment on a car.
Let's fly the electric paramotor, see how it goes, and that'll help you decide if you want a Tesla or not.
I like it. Tommy Anderson says, talking about progressing after training, I found after training at Paracosta, I bought the Freestyle 101 Vimeo from Team Fly Halo. I felt comfortable with that approach. What's your opinion? Tommy, the Freestyle 101 stuff from Shane is fantastic. Shane has been, I hate to give him this credit, and I hope this never gets clipped and he never sees it, but Shane has been one of the people who I truly respect the most when it comes to flying paramotors. He's one of the cool kids.
Why do you not want him to see this?
Because he's one of the cool kids, and I'm a homeschool high school dropout. I've never been cool. I'll never be cool.
True.
But Shane's flying technique, the way that he flies, the way that he handles energy management, the way that he makes decisions, the way that he pulls himself back from making bad decisions is extraordinary. He's also a fantastic, fantastic teacher. He's no longer with Team Fly Halo, but I can say with the utmost confidence that, in my opinion, he's one of the best pilots I've ever known, and he's one of the best instructors I've ever known.
I should get with this guy.
I would actually really like to have Shane come and teach some stuff here with us.
Oh my God.
So Shane, if you do see this and your ego is built up enough and you feel like I've made you feel good about yourself, your head's about to explode, I would love to work with you. I'd love to bring you in to help build stuff for our learning management system for our intermediate and advanced classes, because Shane has a better way of explaining how the glider moves, how it works, than almost anyone.
Sweet.
So he learned from Chris Anacroce. He learned from Dell. He's learned from a ton of good people and a ton of free flying experience. He really, truly gets it.
Cool.
So good stuff, Shane. You rock. Damage asked, do you still offer the cheaper helmet option? No, sir, we don't. Quite frankly, we got so frustrated with trying to build helmets. I am on my 7th helmet in X number of years, and that's why we built our ridiculously expensive helmet. It was to meet my needs and Travis's needs. If you'd like to have a cheaper helmet, I have a few for sale. We have student level helmets that are just 2 meter. We have deluxe helmets. We have intermediate. There are helmets available, and you can buy helmets from lots of other people for less money. But our helmets work, and they're warranted, and we're really happy with them.
I'd like to point out that expensive and overpriced are totally different. This helmet is expensive, but is not overpriced.
I don't know, man. I bought one, and it's real expensive.
You bought 100.
I did buy 100.
It's actually not overpriced. I mean, we've had actually people buy them because they tried to build their own, and they put their kit together, and they didn't just price it out. I'm talking they bought the equipment.
Right.
And then tried to put it together and said, oh, God. And then they returned it all and then bought ours.
Yeah, it definitely, if you try to do everything we've done with your own helmet, you're looking at 3 to 5 hours of work and about $700 in cost.
This should lay it out right here. Ross Gasaway. Ross
can fix and build anything.
He can build
He's a ninja.
anything. He bought one. If Ross Gasaway has to buy one, then you know it's good.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I feel bad about it. I've talked about it on the streams before. I don't think I've ever actually talked about the details. If we pay a dealer, if you buy your helmet through a dealer, our profit margin is so low it won't pay for my family's lunch.
Don't buy it through a dealer. I'm kidding.
No, but seriously, and when you realize how much output we had to pay to build the molds,
Yeah.
to have everything integrated, yes, you could buy one from Involo for a few $100 less without the holes and the vents and stuff. But we invested a lot because we really believe that creating a premium product that would hold its value, that would have some value, it was worth it. So we've been really happy with it. Sandro says he'd love to own a deluxe helmet. I love mine. I use it all the time. And somebody said I would cry Kevin said I would cry if I scratched it. Dude, mine's so scratched up.
Yeah.
Fly it if you got it. Who cares? You know, it's like a new truck. If you don't scratch a new truck when you first get it, you're always worried about the first scratch. Just live with it. It's a truck, you know?
That was me with the Tesla, and then I backed it into the garage door.
Oh, no. It lets you do that?
The garage door was it closed my garage door before I was out, and it cracked the back window.
What did Tesla do for that?
Nothing. Tesla can't do anything. I had to. It's all me.
Wow.
This is a good one. How do you define a flight versus like touch and goes. I actually want to put this out. I think we just started this in our class. I think that we're no longer counting touch and goes as 2 flights.
It really depends on where you are in the process. So if you're looking for maximum number of flights, a touch and go could count. Like when my brother did the world record for number of flights, 194 flights, I think it was, in 6 hours. First off, he smoked cigarettes and going and flying around pretty girls at the same time. But he had to take off.
He was distracted.
Fly around, land, bring the wing all the way to the ground,
right.
Bring the wing all the way back up. He ended it after 40 minutes of rain.
Right.
The wing was full of water. But to me, a true flight is wing all the way to the ground, reinflated.
Full stop.
Full stop. For students, we encourage them to do touch and goes because it helps train body position. It helps train posture and pressure, all the things that really matter for a flight. So touch and goes aren't a bad thing.
No, but I think that as far as like tracking, because we have a board,
right,
and we keep all the students listed there, and we have a sort of a leaderboard. I believe that those will no longer be updated for touch and goes. I think that if you do like 3 touch and goes in one flight, that's
I don't
one
know.
flight.
I'm not sure if they're doing that.
I think that was a new thing this class.
I don't know.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. All right. So Saeed asks, what's an EOS and EOS 150? Those are other engine brands. We don't sell them. They're out of France. Let's see here. Marty Phillips says, you get what you pay for every time. I resemble that. I am the guy who always tries to get away with the cheapest thing. You should see my boat that has no furniture and the steering wheel almost falls off. Oh, and the motor doesn't work. Yeah.
Are we going to get to the good stuff?
We're finally getting there?
Yeah, can we get there?
All right. So a lot of people have been asking us.
How many people are watching?
All right.
Only 114?
Brian says, hi, Al. My question is, would it hurt your feelings if I left the chat and went flying? In northern Indiana, it's beautiful. Brian, go fly, brother, man. Send us some pictures at Aviator Paramotor on Facebook, Instagram, etc. We'd love to see your flight. And please rub it in. I don't get to fly right now. It's terrible. There's a giant thunderstorm that's like all around us. But yeah, guys, we do have some big news. The stuff that we wanted to cover tonight. We're going to put up a graphic right about meow. These are our spring, I guess it's winter, quarter one dates.
It counts as spring.
For training.
If it was college, this would be spring semester.
Spring semester training at Aviator. We're working on some other really big news to share with you guys. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag right now.
Wait.
Doing it.
Which cat?
Doing it.
There's a lot of cats.
John's not so happy about this. Guys, we're going to open our second location next year as well. So if you want to train at Aviator and you want to have the experience of a lifetime, you want to be able to have time with our instructors, with our team, we have our spring dates available today. You can go online right now and book them. Additionally to that, we are going to be opening a second location where you can get the same Aviator experience with our team. This is something that has been a big deal. That we've worked really hard on. It was one of our biggest goals for 2019 was to open our second location. We don't have dates yet, but it is coming. So I know you're mad at me now.
No, I'm so excited I can't even speak. I'm so excited. This takes a big, huge weight off my shoulders because I'm a bit of a secret spiller myself.
So, I'm the worst. Ask my wife. I'm the worst at keeping secrets.
Yeah, well,
like
so
the
this
actual
makes
worst.
me feel better because, like, honestly, I'm on the verge of, in every conversation I have, I'm on the verge of releasing this. So now that you've said it, I can actually talk openly about it.
It is coming. We're actually scouting locations this next week. We have a short list of about 374 different locations.
Yes.
So Chris and I are flying around to locations this next week. I think we're leaving Monday. So there are a lot of things going on. Matt Wise says, will you offer EFI-ready machines? Yes, we will, sir. We will have EFI-ready machines available. Right now, we have them available on the Fly products. We have not actively been selling them simply because we don't have enough stock. So we are very blessed to be able to sell the gear that we have in stock. But
Blessed.
EFI stuff
Yes.
will be blessed, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Tony Marzano says, put it in Vegas. Saeed says, put it in L.A.
Albuquerque.
I want one in Tucson.
Oh,
I think
man.
Tucson, Arizona would be amazing.
Okay. Albuquerque.
Right now,
Man,
we're
stop
leaning
it.
toward some more central locations where we can put a better set of eyeballs on it, make sure that our team can work together.
And it needs to be hopefully somewhere that has 300 plus flying days a year. So
that kind of rules out most of the rest of the country. But there are definitely some opportunities. And one of the things that John, who is, for those of you guys who don't know, John is our marketing director, but he's more than that. Much like Nina is way more than our operations manager. These folks are brilliant. John wants to do something called Aviator Summer Home.
Oh, yes. yes, are we putting this out too?
So he wants us to do a series of locations. Like, how cool would it be to have school in Maine throughout the summer? There we go.
There you go.
Siri has options. Siri has options for us.
Yeah,
so we'd love to do something
home. Yeah, Maine,
in Maine,
Montana, Idaho, Wyoming.
And that kind of ties in with some of the other stuff we're doing. As the sport is growing and there are more and more people who are capable, we want to start doing really cool trips. Like, we want to rent a mansion in Montana and take everyone to Bozeman and have a chef and be able to say, hey, listen, let's go for 5 days. We'll have motors there. We'll have instructors there. You can free fly. You can motor. There's a chef. There's all these things that we're working on down the road that are all potentials. But for us, it's staffing. It's looking at the dollars and cents, because if we go to Montana and we ran the numbers, it's like $18,000 to $20,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, the dollars and cents don't make sense.
They don't make sense, unless you have the right people. Right.
It's all about an adventure. This is a vacation for you, which you need so bad.
I need a vacation real bad. But we also have to be able to pay our employees.
We'll figure that out later.
People don't realize. Like, people are like, I'm a kid. Aviator charges all this money.
No.
I spend more than my annual salary every single month, paying our employees.
Much more than that. Yeah.
It's a lot of tag
we have like 15 people, and that's
it's 11
not cheap.
full-time.
11 full-time people.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in doing an adventure with us, picture this. One day you wake up in the morning, you go for a 40-mile cross-country flight. You land, you have a catered breakfast or brunch. You're driven back to the mansion in a van.
By the way, we're basically doing this because John wants to go have catered breakfasts and brunches. That's basically the whole point.
Right. And then in the afternoon we go whitewater rafting, or we go on a wolf excursion to look at wolves and things like that. Like this, these are things that are going to be possible soon with Aviator. So if you're interested, let us know. We need to know if we can actually get people on these things.
It's true, and that's a big part of it for us, is like trying to find ways that we can elevate the experience. Like, how do we elevate the idea of what we do? Because taking off and flying around your airport is transformative. It changes your life.
Of course.
But turning it into the next adventure, trying to develop the next idea is really a big part of what we believe Aviator is all about. And there's a lot more to it, guys. There's so many more elements and ideas and things we want to do. That's why this week, if you guys haven't seen it yet, we released our intermediate advanced training courses, stuff that we're going to do that's kind of helps you guys build your skills. It's gonna be really, really exciting. So,
fairly,
it's a constant journey.
Things are happening. Big things.
Big things. So all that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Check out the dates below. We're announcing something else soon. We're putting out a video this next week that talks about everything that sucks on Parajets, on fly products, on Viterazis. Everything that's gone wrong for us. And we're also going to be releasing some really incredible new information for anyone who's one of our students or prior customers. It's going to be a game changer, to quote my buddy James.
Spoiler alert, when that video comes out, watch the whole video.
Yeah, watch the last minute and a half. If you don't watch what happens, just watch the last minute and a half.
Who knows? I might sneak it in the middle.
Huge shout out to Jeff Stang. Good to see you, brother. Robert Weir, Bob Blitherack, Tony Marzano, Rev G Vegas. He says, what is the turnaround time, generally speaking, for a wing and paramotor is ordered? Say a Fly 185 and a Mojo Large. Right now, we're out of Mojo Larges simply because we sold 4 this week. So you're looking at about 35 days for a Mojo Large. If you wanted a Mojo Medium, we have every color in stock right now on the wall. If you want a paramotor, Fly Products Rider, there's one on the shelf. There's one behind me over here. And we have more on the floor in Italy.
You're in a future class, correct? Rev J Vegas?
Okay.
I believe you're in a future class. Maybe I'm wrong. I've spoken with you, but I don't remember in what capacity you're in a future class. You're in an Alliance members class. Let us know, because that can sort of help us tell you when to order your Mojo.
Absolutely. Andrew Finnegan says, call it Aviator Adventures. Well, we're working on the Aviator Foundation. We're going to have adventures coming. There's a lot of things that are in progress as this team is able to take on more and more. I'm so unbelievably thankful for just the core team with Alex, Chris, Nina, Mary, and John. They've done so much that allows my brain to have space to be able to work on the projects that I really am passionate about instead of the day-to-day. It's absolutely incredible. So it's all coming, guys. It's all coming along. Marty Phillips says, Tampa here, coming to fly with you fellas after some weight loss. I want to talk about this because we got an incensed email this week. incensed.
That's a
He
good
was
word.
he was so upset.
He was
We recently added tandems to all of our classes, so people have to go through a tandem on their very first day of training. Or their second day before they're allowed to fly, before they're allowed to tow,
Right.
they have to go through a tandem.
This was sort of a great building block for us when we started adding this.
Well, we didn't do it for a long time because A, we didn't feel like it was necessary, and B, it's a huge time commitment. So we have to add
Right.
more staff, we have to have more equipment, we have to do more things. But we finally made a decision. We said, listen, let's do a tandem. So we had to limit our max weight. Used to be 270, with exceptions. Like we had a guy who's 380 pounds
Right.
we called him the Mountain. He was a beast. And Jeff, thank you for your idea, brother. We're learning from you. So we have to limit our max weight, and we had this guy so mad at us for limiting our max weight. And I was like, listen, you and I did a tandem when you're 270, right? And we took off like it was a freaking unicycle.
It was during my weight loss. So I've been through this. I was 318 pounds when I decided to fly paramotors. I could not attend training at the place that I work until I was 250. And we went on a tandem when I was a little too heavy. We didn't go anywhere.
So like literally, like I take off, wing comes
so
up,
sad.
wing comes up, it's beautiful. Inflate, we run full power for about 400 yards. It wasn't that far, but it felt like it. And then I come off the ground, and here's John. We're doing an inverse
unicycling.
wheelie.
Yeah.
We're doing a stoppie.
A stoppie, yeah.
And and then finally we come off the ground, and then we land. And again, I have to unicycle drive this thing because he's landing first, right?
Yeah.
So for safety, we have to limit the weight. So
Yeah.
it's this guy was really mad. He's like, that's ageist, sexist,
It's a-
weightist.
yeah.
It's like, no, it's safety. Like
Weightist.
we're not going to put someone in a position where they're going to be at risk because it's so imperative to us to make sure that people are safe. So
Right. If you don't care about your safety, that's okay. We care about our instructor's safety as well.
well, and it's
In
just a
addition.
huge balance.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do this, but I'm excited about doing tandems. This class freaking loved it.
Yeah, they did great.
And my
Yeah,
dad
they
did
nailed
most
it.
of the tandems,
Yep.
and my dad came back. So my dad's 70, right? 73 now. And he's like glowing. He's glowing
he's
after
at least
sharing.
100.
He might be. It's possible.
He's been lying about his age for 30 years. He's been saying 70 for at least 30 years.
So we're always on a mission to try to find ways that we can better make the sport safer. We can make our training safer. We can find ways to build things up and do things better and better. So this is one way we've done it. Tony Marzano says, don't call them fat, just overloaded.
We never said fat. Nobody said fat.
All right, Dan Jacobson asks, what sort of experience are you looking for prior to coming to Aviator Days? John.
Just be a good pilot. We want to see some good pilots.
Don't be someone who needs instruction.
Right. If you're the type of guy who is at Bad Apples flying around like a lunatic, don't come. We need you to be able to fly on your own. You don't have to be like PPG-3 or anything like that. You don't have to be a 50-hour pilot or a 100-flight pilot. Just be experienced enough to handle this on your own because you won't be receiving instruction.
Right. You're not here for instruction. You're here to experience what we have to offer, to be kind of incorporated into our world here for a while, and go from there.
Yep. I like the pilot. I like John Wallace's question. How much of YouTube guys like Tucker and Woody contribute to the growth of Aviator? So Aviator sort of has its own place in the sport, and as the sport grows, Aviator grows. This is natural, right? And these guys are doing a great job pushing the growth of the sport. So
They are, and it's funny because everyone, I can't tell you how many people have contacted me and been like, aren't you so thankful that Tucker's done so much for the sport? I'm like, yes, I am.
Of course.
But it's not just Tucker. Like, people contact me like, oh my God, Paradigm's changed the sport. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Tim Gaskin says that all the time. I'm like, Tim, I love you.
Right.
It's not just Paradigm. It's not one article in Flying Magazine or in Plane and Pilot or in AOPA.
Right.
It's a confluence of the right time,
Yep.
the right technology. Motors got lighter, wings got better, reserves got safer. Everything came together at once, and like, we've been working so hard at promoting the sport for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
And the reality is that whether it's Tucker, you found Woody, you found us, you found Paradigm, you found whatever. The reality is that it's a conglomeration of
Yep.
everything coming together at once, and this massive amount of awareness building. It's not one thing.
for the most part, everybody's pulling their weight
Right.
in the growth of the sport. And Aviator just grows as the sport grows.
And there
It's
are some
natural.
negative Nancys who kind of drive things in the negative way, and we just ignore it. And people ask us all the time. I can't tell you how many emails a week are like, "What do you think about blank person?" And I'm just like,
Right.
I've never
we
met
got an
him.
email today saying, "Hey, this particular person is spreading bad ideas. What do you think about that?"
Yeah.
We don't think about it.
Well, you can't because
Yeah.
we don't want to propagate negativity. We want to try to encourage grace and kindness,
Right.
because that's really, if you look at the reality of the sport, we're in a place where the sport's safer than it's ever been.
It's safer than planes.
This guy
That's
hates
for
planes.
damn sure.
But we want to encourage positivity, and so we're constantly trying to develop it.
Right.
Vertical Line says, you allow trike flyers. Absolutely. If you want to come fly trikes during Aviator Days, go to the website. It's on the top bar. Absolutely.
You're probably looking at a trike transition class. If you're already flying a trike, then yeah, Aviator Days works for you if you want to try out the Foxy. But are you already trike flyer? Is that what
Yeah, that's what he's saying, yeah.
Okay. Can we talk about trike transition?
Yeah. Tell us all about it.
So it's in October sometime. I don't have the date, but this is really cool because like Alex Huff was just here, and this is a guy who he looks like your typical athlete. You know what I mean? Great body.
He's gorgeous. He's gorgeous.
But like this guy flies a trike, right? Or he foot launches, but he also flies a trike because he likes it, because he thinks it's cool. Alex Montanez, who works here, also flies a trike and foot launches. So for those of you that want to be able to just sort of launch whenever you want with very little effort, you need to be considering a trike transition course. The trike transition course is a really good opportunity for you to come here, try out a badass trike, or a really sweet trike.
A bad butt.
Bad booty trike. For example, what we're gonna be flying people on? Trike transition course. What trike?
They'll be learning to fly. Their initial flights will be on a Flash Cruiser tandem trike, and then we'll move them to the Foxy for their solo.
Sweet.
I'm sorry, not the Foxy. The Vertigo.
The Vertigo, right? So
Vertigo.
you'll be flying a Vertigo trike, which is the top of the line trike. You don't have to buy that, but it's really good to sort of practice wheeled launches. Come
It's
here,
super
get instruction.
stable. Yeah.
Right, we're doing a 2 or 3 day class for wheeled launches. If you
2
wanna
days
add
with
that.
a rain day.
Right, we're not saying change your life and be a trike guy. We're just saying add this to your skill set, to your repertoire.
One thing I have to say is Woody
French.
gave me the idea for a rain day. I love it. Thank you, Woody, if you're watching.
You talking about old man Woody or
No, Woody's gamer tag.
Woody
Woody
gamer
was
tag?
like, listen, you guys need to add a rain day in case the weather's bad. People can plan to stay for an extra day. So we're
Yeah.
doing a rain day.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's really good stuff. Matt Y says, please make the Aviator coffee cup in blue as well. I love my red one, but want blue.
No,
So here's the problem, Matt.
they're $1,000 each.
Yeah, it sounds silly. Like, people don't realize. Like, we had a huge amount of backlash when we released the lamels for $200.
Right.
And I don't mind sharing numbers because this is a private community watching this. It's just our
Don't tell
family.
anybody this.
So people don't realize you have to spend like $10,000-$15,000
Right.
in stock
Right.
in order to get the rights to sell them.
Yep. To be a dealer.
And at the time when the euro was where it was like $120-something a set. We give 20% off to our dealers. So we're already at $160. We're making like $17 after import fees and everything else per set for a $15,000 investment.
Right. People seem to think that we're marking these things up.
No, I had somebody who contacted me this week who said that you're making 300% markup on everything. Why don't you lower your prices? And I was like,
Please.
And this guy left a comment like this long, and he's like, I have a friend who's going to be making this budget conscious thing, and I said, listen, like I do it. Awesome. I'm all for competition. Like, I have no issue with it. The reality is we have a ton of employees to pay. We have a huge amount of overhead, and we're not actually making that much money. Like, I'm the only person who's never actually made money at Aviator so far, right? Like, okay. But to buy blue coffee cups, we have to buy 1,000 of them.
Right.
1,000 of them. Right. They're not expensive. We charge $5 for them because I think our cost was $2.60 a piece, right?
Yeah, but do we want to spend $2,500 on blue coffee?
Exactly. Right? Like, it's a question of, it's a dollars and cents question. Like, do we want to spend that much money in order to make $2.40 per coffee cup when we end up giving away most of them anyway? So it's all. So speaking
Matt,
of which, I'm going to give away a coffee cup right now.
Blue?
No blue coffee cups. We are coming out with red water bottles, which are pretty sick.
Wow.
But those were really expensive. Huh? All right. I'm going to go ahead and give one to Dave Counts and Bob Blitheract. You guys have coffee cups, 2 of them, 1 each. Send us an email, info@aviatorppg.com, with your address and tell us you want a coffee cup. Boom. Craig Couch, No blue coffee cups for you.
Craig Couch. Did you sign up for training yet? You still sitting here? Go sign up for training.
Matt Y, you can have a coffee cup too. Send us an email.
Nina, put the link to the training on there. We need to put the link for the 2020 spring dates on the screen. Put it on the screen.
It's on the screen.
The link is? It is, girl.
Vertical said, Jacqueline made me sign up for you guys. Guys, we're constantly developing. Sandor, I'm glad you like your coffee cup. Again, guys, I'm becoming more open with the live stream stuff just because I want you guys to see our process. Because I want you guys to understand kind of the give and take of running a business, particularly a business in this state of growth where we're trying to figure out exactly how to do what we're doing, when to do it, because it's just a lot going on.
It's a lot. What's going on?
So, Sasher says you'll have to buy 10,000 coffee cups for $40,000. I like you, Sasher. You got the right idea. You really do.
Yeah, you can have them.
Oh, man. All right. So, for everybody who's been watching, thank you all so much. We're at an hour and 27 minutes. I deeply appreciate everyone being a part of this. If you want to sign up for advanced classes, our regular classes, if you want to come back and ask more questions, feel free to email us. I did get some emailed questions this week that I was not able to get to. They were really long questions. I'd like to answer them. We'll plan for those next week. We're going to have kind of a different live stream next week.
Yeah, this would be cool.
So we are Thomas, we don't have any electric updates right now, my friend. I should have it here to start flying next week. We're working on the integration between the Aviator throttle and the servo system right now for it. Next week's live stream is going to be fun. We've done a Paradigm live stream with the whole team.
Yep, that was cool.
We've done a whole bunch of live streams with you and me. And with a whole bunch of other guests. Yep. But next week we're going to do an instructor roundtable.
Yeah, like a panel.
A panel, right.
A panel, if you will, where we will feature all of our current instructors here at Aviator.
Which is now 7 instructors plus me.
Yep.
So 8 instructors. And the thing is, we have now developed our training course to be completely different than it has been in years past.
Yep.
It's a whole different world. One of our local pilots, he's also one of our best friends and happens to be my attorney. He has been at every class since he came to school in September 2017.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he says that our ground school is better than it's ever been. He said it has really become its own animal. It's become something very, very special. Right.
Now you've got the benefit of having the best guy to teach that class teaching that class.
Exactly.
The best guy who does FAR 103, the best guy who teaches safety. That's cool.
It really is. Tony Marzano asked, do you have bios for your instructors? We don't have all the bios up yet. We're working on it. One of the things that we're bringing Will in for, Will, I hope you're still in here, Karma. We're going to have him help us develop more content just simply because we don't have enough time.
There's too many instructors to do all those bios. That's crazy.
Well, and the reality is right now it's John and I creating content, Nina trying to run the back end of the business, Mary trying to handle all the bookkeeping and accounting, Alex trying to ship out all the packages with Catherine. And then all the instructors working so hard trying to make sure everything else happens. And it's just literally, guys, like if we worked 22 hours a day, it wouldn't be enough.
Vertical Line says how many instructors and students?
Right now it's 1.1 students per instructor.
Sometimes it's been over 1-to-1. That's not permanent. We're just this is just part of the process of getting everybody up to speed with the new curriculum. We're generally 1 to every 2, right? That's very common.
Our goal, the way the school will be run, if you were to come to training with us in September, for instance, you'll have 5 instructors. You'll have 4 committed instructors who are full-time, right. 1 per 2 students, and a 5th instructor that we call a floater.
The sort of overseer.
He's the overseer. Yeah. He's the guy who's making sure that all the instructors are doing everything they need to do.
Yep.
He's the instructor who's so it's 2-to-1 plus 1. Right. So we have an extra. We have an extra instructor that's there making sure that all the instructors are on top of things. And if there's any issues because everyone has different personalities and the instructors rotate through the students, but we want to make sure that everyone's served as best as possible.
Yep. It's been pretty sweet.
It's definitely going. Eric Sheridan says the show has finally made it. We have spam. Yes, we do, son. Yes, we do.
Woo! What's up, spammer?
Guys, I am overjoyed by everyone's interaction tonight. This has probably been one of our best podcasts to date with all of the questions we've received. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment down below. Scott Schumann, I think his name was, he said he really wants a coffee cup, and we did a great job. You can't have a coffee cup unless you buy one.
It's $5.
But you can have a free water bottle. Boom!
Which is also $5.
It's also $5.
$20?
Yeah, I think they're $5.
Yeah, Sweetwater
So
Mom.
send us an email. Guys, thank you all for watching. A huge thank you to all the interaction. And again, guys, it really is a pleasure to have the involvement of the community. We are looking forward to having more people visit us. We still have spaces available for Aviator Days. We have spaces available in advanced classes. And as of right now, we have space available for beginners looking to fly in early 2020. Matt Y says he'd like to send us some New Mexico beer. Address is 451 South Airport Road, sir. Double IPAs preferred. And I can't wait to drink some New Mexico beer. I haven't been in Mexico in years.
New Mexico.
Albuquerque.
So if you're looking at training dates, this is a really cool opportunity for you because we're going to be announcing the training dates to our huge notification list tomorrow morning.
It's only a few thousand people.
It's several thousand people, and they're all waiting to train here. So we're going to be announcing that list to them tomorrow morning. So if you're watching this now, you're thinking about signing up, you need to do it tonight or before the wee hours of the morning, or you won't get a spot. Let's put it this way. There's, 56 slots, and there's 4,000 people waiting for those 56 slots. So just
there's a few people here and there.
What's up?
Here and there.
You got to speak up.
Oh, yeah, that is a good point. Nina's just pointed out there are still slots available to Alliance members.
Yeah, if you're waiting to train, if you want to train this year,
yeah,
it's not going to be here.
No, like Skyfield though has space available.
Yep.
Lone
Star, I believe,
has space available. Fly Michigan has space available.
Yep.
I believe that Midwest is full. We're in the midst of adding another Alliance member, which I need to work on tomorrow. So that'll be on the West Coast for those of you guys waiting for West Coast stuff.
Sweet.
So we are constantly trying to make sure that not only do we take care of our school and make sure we have students in place for that, make sure that you guys who want to train here are served, but we also want to make sure that we are encouraging you all.
I'm going to pee in my pants. I got to go.
So professional. We want to make sure that we're encouraging you all to be looking at the Alliance members because they're just absolutely incredible. Vertical Alliance, which months are your rainy season? All of them. It's generally flyable every day throughout the summer in the mornings, but not in the evenings, and it's generally windy sometimes in the winter. It's tougher with the weather fronts. John Paul says, great show, guys. Look forward to this every week. What day do you plan on uploading the show to podcast form when we can't watch it live? Generally, it uploads on Wednesday or Thursday to podcasts everywhere. All right, John is gone, which means he's not going to keep asking me to ask questions. It has now been an hour and 34 minutes. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been a real pleasure. Saeed, we'll get to your question next week. Feel free to ask again. Slow Days, thank you very much. Matt Y, pleasure. Eric Sheridan, we do need to hire more people. It's going to happen. Marty Phillips, why are you frowning, buddy? We love you, man. Jeff Stang, thank you for watching. To everyone else who's been involved in this, guys, it's been a wonderful show. Look forward to seeing you all next week for our Instructor Roundtable podcast. It should be a very special one where you all can get to know our staff, understand why they are here, and understand why we love them so very much. Dave Counts, have a great night. Guys, good evening. We'll see you very soon. So long.